Industries, I've had the unique privilege of serving with a real patriot. He is my friend, and he is my great mentor. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present this year's Apogee Award to Mr. Tony Stark. Tony? Thank you, General. This is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you all very much. This is wonderful. Well, I'm not Tony Stark. But if I were Tony, I would tell you how honored I feel and what a joy it is to receive this very prestigious award. Tony, you know, the best thing about Tony is also the worst thing. He's always working.
He's always working. Yes, well, we saw how Tony works. He feels no obligation to honor his commitments, to keep his word to others. He's accountable to no one. And why should he be, right? He's free. He's got more money than he knows what to do with. Tony, and he just has two friends in the whole world. His personal assistant, her name is Pepper Potts. It's a comic book name. I don't know, ask Stan Lee the next time you see him. And Colonel James Rhodes, who we just saw in that clip. He wanted to present that award to Tony. And we saw how Tony treats Rhodey. Let's see how he deals with Miss Potts. Go ahead and roll the next clip.
Why are you trying to hustle me on here?
Your flight was scheduled to leave an hour and a half ago.
That's funny. I thought with it being my plane and all, that it would just wait for me to get
Tony,
there.
I need to speak to you about a couple of things before I get you out of
I
the
mean,
door.
doesn't it kind of defeat the whole purpose of having your own plane if it departs before you arrive?
Larry called. He's got another buyer for the Jackson Pollock in the wings. Do you want it, yes or no?
Is it a good representation of the spring period?
No, the Springs is actually the neighborhood in East Hampton where he lived and worked, not the spring like the season. I think it's a fair example. I think it's incredibly overpriced.
I mean, buy it, store it.
Okay. The MIT commencement
It's
speech.
in June. Please don't harangue me about this stuff.
They're haranguing me, so
down.
I'm going to say
Well,
yes.
deflect and absorb it. Don't
I need you to
transmit it back
sign
to me.
this before
What are
you
you
get
trying
on
to get
the
rid of me
plane.
for? What do you got, plans?
As a matter of fact, they do.
I don't like them here, plans.
I'm allowed to have plans on my birthday.
It's your birthday.
Yes.
I knew that. Already?
Yeah, isn't that strange? It's the same day as last year.
Well, get yourself something nice for me.
I already did. Oh, it was very nice. Very tasteful. Thank you, Mr. Stone.
You're welcome, Miss Potts.
Okay, so he can't even remember her birthday. He doesn't bother to buy her a present. She has to buy her own. And yet there's something between them, right? It's hinted at in the film, but never really developed as a storyline. But I use that clip to kind of reinforce this idea of Tony's attitude towards everything. What's the point in having your own plane if it departs before you arrive? The Jackson Pollock painting. Is it a good representation of his spring period? I need it. Buy it, store it. He's not even going to look at it. What does he need it for? When Stanley created this character in 1963, he wanted to create a hero that nobody would like, and then make them like him. See, Tony was introduced during the hippie generation, right? And he's a weapons manufacturer. He's rich, he's arrogant, he's selfish, he's inconsiderate, and kids loved him. They were supposed to hate him, but there was something so attractive about Tony's lifestyle, and so Iron Man became a hit. He's the rugged American, gifted with the spirit of inventiveness and a brilliant intelligence. And what's so amazing about this particular superhero is that he's just a man. No radioactive spider, no gamma rays. He's not an alien from the planet Krypton with super strength. He's not a troubled, tortured character like Bruce Wayne, Batman. He's just a regular guy, albeit spoiled. Right? He's the spoiled son. Everything's been handed to him. but we like him nonetheless. I knew this was going to be a great movie right from the beginning. In the first scene, we see his name, or his company's name, Stark Industries, branded on a bomb that's about to explode at his feet. And the look on Robert Downey Jr.'s face, I mean, he's the perfect man for this role. That look on his face was priceless, and we see this playboy millionaire put through all the paces, right? The women, the booze, the bombs, and it all comes crashing down when he sees that missile in front of him, in the hands of his enemies, come back to haunt him. And Tony realizes that he's wasted his life up to this point. He's captured in the first conflict, and he's made a prisoner, and the faction that's captured him, they want him to build a missile for them. And now he's at the turning point in the film. Right? Matthew 16:26, Jesus says, "For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and forfeits his soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for his soul?" Proverbs 28:6 says, "Better a man who walks in his integrity than a rich man who is crooked in his ways." And so Tony's faced with a choice. While he's captured, he meets a fellow prisoner, a man who saves his life. His name is Yin Sen. And Yin Sen confronts Tony and forces him to see his life as it really is. And he says, "You know, you're a man who has everything and nothing." Take a look at this clip.
I'm sure they're looking for you, Star. They would never find you in these mountains. Look. What you just saw, that is your legacy, Star. Your life's work in the hands of those murderers. Is that how you want to go out? Is this the last act of defiance of the great Tony Stark? Or are you going to do something about it?
Do anything that could kill me. You. Either way, and if they don't, I'll probably be dead in a week.
Well, then, this is a very important week for you, isn't it?
A very important week, and I don't want to give away too much of the film. We've watched some important clips already, but when Tony finally escapes his captivity and arrives home, he has this epiphany. He wants to use his creative talents in a better way. But forces acting behind the scenes have other plans, and if Stark is going to survive this transition, he will have to use all of his ingenuity. And his path to becoming Iron Man is in many ways as spiritual as you can get without reciting Bible verses. He is the archetypal sinner who has wasted much of his life on wine, women, and weapons, right? And while he doesn't find God in this film, he does find what he considers to be a purpose. And he has what one might call a Marvel Comics equivalent of the Apostle Paul's experience on the road to Damascus. Right? No longer is he blind to what's going on in the world around him. Right? His life is no longer aimless. He has a reason to live, a purpose. He tells the world that Stark Industries, right, this weapons manufacturing empire, will no longer make its money by selling superior firepower. Right? He says, "I don't want a body count to be my legacy." And he says, "I had become a part of a system that had become comfortable with zero accountability." Let's take a look at that moment.